The police in Bibiani in the Western region are investigating the death of a 12-year-old girl allegedly defiled at Tano Odumase in the Ashanti region. The Class 5 pupil died presumably from infections she contracted from the sexual assault. Kwesidaba traveled to interact with her relatives, community leaders and investigators on the unfortunate incident. Here's his report.
The mood within the family is a mix of pain and anger as they reflect on Aisha's last words. Parents of the deceased prefer a relative, their late daughter's uncle, Samuel Fufi, speak to the issue. The 12-year-old was allegedly defiled by 20-year-old Kwaku Bernard 3 months before her death. Last Wednesday, her mother came to inform me Aisha was sick. Upon interrogation, she mentioned Kwaku Bernard as having sexually abused her. Aisha had indicated about 7 p.m. on an unspecified date. The alleged culprit called her into a kindergarten building and slept with her. He warned her never to tell anyone about the act, with promise of monetary reward. Unit committee members who heard the account quickly arrested Kwaku and sent him to Bibiani Divisional Police Headquarters. Here's Assembly Member Abdullah Dramani. I was informed by committee members about what had transpired. We sent her to the hospital on Wednesday, but her condition got worse. She died on the 24th of this month. Police are yet to receive initial autopsy report, expected to be ready 2 weeks from now. Kwaku has since been in police custody. He is due to be transferred to Nkawe Divisional Command in the Ashanti region for continued investigation. Reporting for JoyNews, Kwesi Deborah.
Defense Minister Dominic Nitiwul says the 500-bed capacity military hospital under construction in the Ashanti region will be ready next year. The completion of the facility located in Afare in the Ikwimang-Webieja district will boost healthcare delivery and also reduce pressure on the Komfo-Anokye Teaching Hospital. Mr. Nitiwul inspected progress of work on the project initiated by the John Mahama-led administration as part of a working visit to the 4th Garrison on Wednesday. Prince Apia was on the tour and has filed this report.
The Defense Minister and the Military High Command first paid a courtesy call on Asante-Hene Otumfuo Osei II. They were there to share in the king's grief ahead of the final funeral rites of his late mother and Asante-Hima, Nana Ifeasewa Kubiampem II. Otumfuo admonished the military to keep up the fight against illegal mining. The delegation then moved to what is set to become Ghana's second largest military hospital at Afari. Mr. Nitiwul was impressed by the level of work so far. He, however, charged the contractors Euroget the Invest to work towards completing and handing over the facility in the middle of 2018.
We expect that next year this program will be completed, the hospital will be completed. Government has already programmed to employ some 2,500 workers to start the hospital. We're just waiting for the contractor to finish. That's why it's been programmed into the budget of 2018. I know that there are a few issues that need to be sorted out in terms of construction work, and then a few issues to be sorted out in terms of monetary work. But all of them, I hope that by the given timeline of May, June, we should get this hospital up and running. It is a policy of government to ensure that all the commands, Southern Command, Central Command and Northern Command get good hospital facilities. And that is why I will encourage anybody who finds himself here whether as a worker or any person, should be able to help to get these facilities provided. It's a lot of money that government is sinking to provide this facility.
The minister identified accommodation as a major challenge to soldiers at the 4th Garrison.
It's clear that the biggest problem that is facing the troops here is accommodation, particularly the old barracks. It is not something that any of us can be proud about, the type of accommodation facilities that are there with so many rundown houses. We've already promised the people of Ghana that we will have a barracks regeneration program to fix, so that problem will be fixed. We've already started. We'll continue next year.
The Kumasi Shoe Factory, which is still in distress despite a takeover by the Ghana Armed Forces, cannot escape the minister's attention on a visit to Kumasi. He revealed government will review ownership of the factory to revitalize the business.
And we'll be resolving the ownership problem and reviewing the ownership problem with regard to the shoe factory. It is a very good investment for us, and it's a very good step for us, particularly with defense industries, to have some of these things running. But the current structure, we'll really look at it, and then we'll submit a report to the people of Ghana through cabinet. When I came as minister, I paid for 10,000 boots. I paid. They had ordered 10,000. They were owing the company, and I paid. But there are a few teaching problems that we need to solve internally. When these issues are sorted out, we would encourage people to partner with the military to ensure that the shoe factory becomes a success.
Prince Apia reporting.
The Member of Parliament for Finso South, Ben Abdallah Banda, says building a society of accelerated growth centers on the capacity of the citizenry to embrace a good maintenance and rehabilitation culture. Mr. Banda appears unenthused about the Ghanaian attitude towards state property and its maintenance. He was speaking at the inauguration of a 3-unit classroom block at Chebi in the Finso municipality. Nana Sensu Mensah reports.
Mr. Abdallah Banda laments over the tendency to leave what is commonly referred to as government property in shambles only for the state to use substantial resources to repair them. He explains such attitude must change to give meaning to value for money, especially for posterity.
What is of paramount importance to me is not the structure itself, how the community and all of us should be able to maintain it we should be able to maintain it the way this classroom deserves. Because if at the end of the day we invest a lot of money into the construction and the completion of this project, and we are not able to maintain it, and within a few days or a few weeks, this project of burden starts deteriorating, our money would have gone down the drain. The money is not my money, and the money doesn't belong to anybody. The money is the money of the people of Ghana. So this project is not my project. It doesn't belong to any individual within this community. This project was put together by the taxes that government over the period have taken from us and have been able to construct one project or the other. So my advice to everybody listening to me is that the perception that this project is a government project, so we should sit unconcerned or we should sit on the fence and should not take good care of it, should be a perception that has to be eroded.
Headmaster of the school, Christian Mole, was full of praise for financiers of the project. He pledges to have it kept in shape.
I'm very happy that this structure has been given to us, because over the years this is the structure we've been using, and when it is raining we start to shiver because we don't know when the heavy storm or heavy rains can equally break it down. So I know equally that this structure has been given to us. We are going to evacuate all the students in this class to this class, and I know that it's going to help us to a very large extent, because it is imperative that if you are teaching and you don't have the proper environment, which means that effective teaching and learning can never take place. So we are happy, and we know that this structure is going to help us a lot, so that whatever we want to achieve as teachers, we can equally achieve it.
Nana Sensumensa reporting for Joy News.
The Dean of the Gimpa Law School, Ernest Kofi Abochi, has expressed his disappointment at the extent of party politicking, division and exclusivity in the wake of party politics in Ghana. The law lecturer says the practice has affected the development of many areas in the country and will ultimately be the bane of many communities if not checked. Speaking at the swearing-in of the Council of Elders of the Trifo Etimokwa district, Mr. Abochi called for the removal of the winner-takes-all mentality and asked for the inclusion of many other experts in various fields in governance process, irrespective of their political background. We bring a report by Richard Kwejo-Nyako.
The Chufu Etimokwa district, according to surveys and research by the local government ministry, is regarded as the second fastest growing district in the country. The establishment of the Chufu Praso Council of Elders, therefore, is to help accelerate further growth and development of the area. The council, a non-partisan body of prominent natives of the district, is expected to draw ideas needed to help develop the area. Speaking at the swearing-in of the Council of Elders, the Dean of the Gimpa Law School, Ernest Kofi Abochi, who also comes from the area, called for the harnessing and leveraging of the opportunities in the area for development through the establishment of sister city relationships and the meeting of minds of experts to improve the fortunes of the district beyond government interventions.
I've known this town from since 1990, and it has barely developed. It's expanded. The population has grown exponentially. But in terms of real development, this town still lags substantially behind. And I draw comparisons between here and Kaswa. I think they have similar characteristics in terms of development, and it's probably the second fastest growing town in Ghana, apart from Kaswa. Yet Kaswa is way ahead of this place, from all that I know. And so the suggestion, among others, is that they should start looking at things like setting up an endowment fund, start looking at harnessing and leveraging on the opportunities presented by the townsfolk who live in the diaspora, both in the Ghana diaspora and outside Ghana, and to see how best they can coordinate the developmental opportunities presented by these people, and by the setting up of an endowment fund, by establishing sister city relationships between them and other cities across the world, for example. Harness on some of these things to see how best they can better speed up the developmental process here, as opposed to basically relying on government funding, which hardly comes.
He expresses disappointment at the extreme divisions and fragmentations that party politicking has introduced into the development agenda of the country.
I'm one of those people who have been disappointed generally by the extent to which party politicking, and I'm not saying the party politics per se, but the party politicking and the divisions, the fracturing of our society that we have witnessed in the wake of party politics, the sense of exclusivity as opposed to inclusivity that party politicking has introduced in our development, which in my opinion has substantially undermined our development as a people. Not only Chufu Praso, I'm talking about Ghana generally speaking. The understanding was that the marketplace of ideas that is generally introduced by party politics should help us develop very quickly because we pull together our ideas and perspectives. But what has happened is that anytime we have a government in power, there is the exclusion of those who are outside power, sometimes by the government in power, but sometimes self-exclusion. People just say, well, it's not our government, so they're not interested. So our society has been fractured to a point by party politics in a manner that has undermined our development. And my suggestion is, I've been quite disappointed with that over the years. A lot of people have spoken about this. The winner-takes-all mentality, the exclusion of those who are not members of a certain party, right down the middle, up to the level of contracts, up to the level of basic services, the sense of this is our time and all others are out. It has been our bane since 1992, and moving forward, probably we need to do something about this. So,
Richard Kwejo-Nyako, Joy News, Chufu Praso.
The Concerned Patriots of Boko, an MPP youth group in the Upper East region, is appealing to the leadership of the party to reinstate the embattled General Secretary, Kwabena Japong. At a news conference in Boko on Wednesday, the youth, who claimed they had the backing of some of their polling station executives, said they believe Mr. Japong's indefinite suspension from his position as General Secretary of the MPP has served its purpose. They therefore want the president to initiate steps to reinstate Kwabena Agyapong. Abdullahi Muntaka is the spokesperson of the group.
We have come a long way as a party, and it should not be this time that we should feign innocence of the various roles played by people like Kwabena Agyapong in building this party, as that can be dangerous for our quest to get people to continue to sacrifice for this party. The suspension is not and should not practically mean the same thing as dismissal, as we think this party of all should be competently able to distinguish the difference. But the fact that he has conducted himself honorably without any form of defiance to the decision of the party, even though he disagrees with same. But the fact that even in his suspension, he went ahead to aid the party in his own small way by donating 2,000 Ghana cedis to some distressed constituencies across the country some few days to the general election, to which Boku Central constituency is a beneficiary. And for the same reason that the disciplinary committee recommended that he be suspended for 15 months and the others indefinitely, we think he has acted sufficient enough in good faith and in obedience to the decision of the party. He has been patriotic to the party's principle, representatives and agents, even in his complete disagreement of the suspension, and therefore deserves a call back to his elected position.
And that's it for the latest news headlines we have.